Hello everybody, it's Maria here from Pepperly Rose Paper Crafting. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator from Sydney, Australia. Thank you so much for joining me. And today we're going to be making a card with Freya as a bird. I know you've probably seen hundreds of cards with this stamp set, but it's new to me, so I'm going to show you my version of a card using this gorgeous stamp set. I'm also going to be using the Lace 3D folder. And I'm using the Sizzix one before Stampin' Up changed vendors for making the embossing folders. So I'll be using that the old-fashioned way. And I'm also going to be using the rectangle stitched framelits. So we'll get started. Today I'm going to use a colour that is new to me as well, and it's Purple Posy. This is a beautiful lavender colour. I just love it. So this is half an A4 and I've scored it in half again. And I'm just going to now burnish the score line with my bone folder. And I also have a layering piece of Purple Posy that will go over the top of that. I've also got a piece of Whisper White cardstock that I've already cut to size, and that will layer on the inside of the card. And I've got a scrap piece of Whisper White. So we'll start off with some stamping. On the scrap piece of Whisper White, I'm going to bring my Stamparatus. I like using it especially for larger stamps and ones that have quite a bit of detail, kind of like this one. So I'll be using that. And I'm going to put mine over here. And I'm going to use basic grey ink to stamp the image. And you can use any stamping positioning tool you may have. You can even use a block. But because I've got the Stamparatus and I've even got a Misty and a Tim Holtz stamp platform, you know, you can use any of those to make that image. So I'm going to leave mine as is, if you can see that. That turned out very nice. But I'm going to leave my stamp in here because I'm going to colour this with some watercolour pencils. And I find that once I finish watercolouring with the watercolour pencils, then I can stamp over the image again and I can make those lines nice and crisp. So I'm going to leave my stamp in here. And what I will do is I'll just give this a couple of minutes to dry. And then I'll be back. Let this dry off for a little bit. I'm going to bring a piece of scrap paper, copy paper, and my blender pen. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to colour these images. So I'll be bringing you down closer and I will speed this up. Now the colours I will be using are equivalents to Stampin' Up colours, so I'm not going to explain each and every one of the colours, but you'll get the gist of it. So I'll bring you down and we'll get started. Okay, so I've just finished colouring my image. I'm going to put my pencils away. And what I did was I mixed up some colours just to make the green look very different. So I'll give you an extra close-up. So it just gives a nice, you know, the yellow undertones and things like that. So I hope you like that. So I'm going to just pop this up. And I moved my table here. So what I'll do now is I'll bring back my Stamparatus. And I'm going to ink the stamp up again with my basic grey ink. And this will just redefine those lines. You don't have to do this, but I just like the way it looks. So I'll just pop that right in the corner. And there we go. That looks really good now, and the lines have been redefined. So that's one of the benefits of using a stamping platform, stamp positioning platform. It's really, really handy for stuff like this. So I'm just going to clean my stamp now, and I'm just going to put it back in its case. And just as a tip, I added underneath my stamp here, I added a piece of what's it called? Baking paper, because it's non-stick. So I'd like to put my stamps back in its area here, and because of the new adhesive being so sticky, this will make it much easier for you to remove your stamp. So that's a little tip for you, and they come out a lot easier. See, doesn't stick as much. So I'll pop this up over here. Oh, and I forgot the inside of the card. With the inside, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring back that stamp again, and I'm going to stamp that, let me see, like that down the bottom. So I'm just going to ink up over here, and I'll do that in basic grey. Just on the edge. And that looks really cute, like it's just peeking through. So I'll just clean that up. Take that away. So that's the inside of the card now done. Isn't that cute? Just peeking through. We will need the Stamparatus again soon, but I'll take that out for now. And we're going to do some big shot work. So I'll just put my stamp back. That way I don't lose them. All right, so I'll grab my big shot. And I'm going to emboss this panel piece of Purple Posy with the lace 3D folder. And I'm going to do it so that the detail runs across. So I'll just line that up. Like that. Oh. And I don't need the thin die adapter either for that. So check that out embossed. Isn't that gorgeous? So that's going to layer on top. Then I'm going to bring back my thin die adapter. And I'm going to bring back my piece here. And I'm going to get the fifth one from the bottom. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops. Bring out other ones as well at the same time. And I'm going to put mine over here, and I want there to be a little bit of an area there so I can stamp my sentiment after this. So I'll just grab a piece of painter's tape and I'll tape it in place. Okay, so that's it with the big shot work. Carefully peel that off. And that is super gorgeous, and I love that detail of the stitching around the die cut. So I'm happy with how that turned out. Just pop my die back in its spot. And I'll bring back my Stamparatus. And this stamp set has some beautiful sentiments. We're the best of friends. Hello. The world needs more of you. Thanks for being you. Thank you. And your friendship means the world to me. I'm going to use thank you. I use thank you cards a lot. So I'm going to have this on hand for when I need it. So I'm just going to add that up here, right near the top there. And I'm going to use the grid as a guide to ensure that it is pretty straight. And I think that's pretty straight. So I'm going to ink that up in basic grey. And you don't have to press hard when these stamps are really slim in colour. Otherwise they blur. I'll just stamp that one more time. Okay, that's much better. Isn't that beautiful? It's a beautiful stamp set. I'm late to the party, as per usual, but hope I give you a nice different perspective with different colours rather than using the colours that are in DSPs and what have you. I tend to think outside of that. So what I'll do with this is I'll just re-burnish that because it kind of comes up. Give it a good burnish. All right. All right, so on the inside, I'm going to attach that on with some liquid glue. And then, I love this purple, I have to say. Then I'm going to attach this emboss layer. It's best to use liquid glue on layers like this because of the texture of the cardstock. I'll just align that properly. And I'll just give it a good press down for a minute or so because that tends to kind of lift up a little bit because of the texture. So I'll just give it a good pressure. Not overly hard, but, you know, hard enough. And that's all done. I think that will adhere down okay. See, and that looks beautiful with that texture as well. Isn't that gorgeous? And I'm just going to add now the coloured image, and I'm going to just put some glue. You can pop this up on dimensionals, but I think because of that texture behind, there's no real need for that, but that's up to you. This is just to give you inspiration. All right, so now I'm just going to attach that like so, and just leave a little Should I leave a border? No. I'll put it right to the edge of that. Yeah, that looks better like that. And that way you can still see a lot of the detail of the embossing folder. So I'll give that a good press as well to ensure that it adheres down. And that's my finished card for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Just love the way this turned out with the texture, and I love Purple Posy. I'm so glad I bought that with my recent haul actually, and I love the touch of the little tiny bird there just peeking through. So you can choose to colour this, but I'm going to leave mine just the way it is as a line image. But there you go. So Free as a Bird is available now in my online store, as well as the lace 3D folder and the rectangle stitch dies. These are fantastic and a must-have in your crafty collection. So I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to leave a comment below, or if you'd like to do that privately, you can message me on Facebook, and I'll leave the link as well below in the description box. And also you can privately email me through my online store at pepplerose.stampinup.net. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you again next time. Bye for now.